Okay, we are live. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for waiting for us. We've got a great conversation set up for you all today. We're talking about 3D first workflows. And I'm joined today by some amazing creators in our community. We have Josephine Miller, Ben Desai, and Sofia Babkanova. Thank you all for joining me today to talk about this topic of 3D first in your workflow. So, for all of you out there who don't know, my name is Jaron Dorman, and I work with the community on the marketing side at Gravity Sketch. And I get to have amazing conversations like this with all of you. So, we're just going to do a roundtable of intros. And so, yeah, just to tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do. So, we're going to start with Josephine, and we'll just go around.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'm really excited to discuss everything what we're going to talk about today. So I'm a XR creative director and I work with augmented reality. I do digital fashion and a lot of XR like immersive workflows, and a lot of those are completely brand new. And I'll show a little bit later more of what I do in the questions, but I'm super happy to be a part of this talk. Thank you so much for having us, Jaron.
Awesome. Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, I'm Ben. I am a creative strategist. Done a lot in the XR space. Now have an immersive design studio where we are building augmented reality filters, metaverses, doing VFX for clients, and even animations. So for like YouTube videos. So yeah, a little bit about the 3D work and how that flows into the work we do.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm Gravity Sketch Specialist, car design consultant, and I maintain the car design relationship within Europe. And I also teach Gravity Sketch in university in Slovakia. So thanks for having us, Jaron.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you again for you all being here. You guys are amazing creators in different spaces, different industries, and so if any of you out there are wondering, go check them out for sure. We'll make sure their stuff is linked as well in the description. But yeah, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is 3D first workflow. So I just want to make a statement here to kind of set the tone, set the context for what we're going to be talking about, and then we'll just dive right into it, and hopefully look at some cool stuff as well. So, having the right tools at your fingertips is essential in maintaining your flow state and creating something truly innovative. Creating and collaborating in 3D in a virtual studio enables better products with intuitive gestural input to express and build on ideas. The results of this way of working are unique to the method used and show up in better products um, with improved aesthetics, functionality, and ergonomics. And so the whole idea really is what are the, or I guess what we're going to be talking through is what are the benefits of starting in 3D in your workflow and thinking in 3D right from the get go. And we're going to explore all of the different angles around that. So to really kick it off, I have my first question here. How important is flow state to your product creation process? And just so I can get it rolling, Josephine, why don't you start maybe with your answer on that one?
Mm-hmm. So for me, flow state is such an interesting way of describing it because, I mean, in the era we are, we're always evolving with new technology, new workflows. So I would say that my flow state isn't one flow, let's say. It's more so I'm exploring and the ideation and conceptualization of the idea that more so is when I'm in my flow state, but a lot of it itself actually involves testing and prototyping. So it does really vary. I wouldn't say this is my work flow state. It's more so I I create in different ways. I'll share a little bit on my as an example in a bit, or should I share that now? Would you say?
If you like, yeah, please.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Okay, let me just share my screen. You should be able to see it in any second now. Do you see my
Yeah, we
screen
got it.
okay?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
perfect. Awesome. So I'll just share a little bit more. So I'm an XR creative director. These are some examples of AR effects I recently have worked on. And my ethos is like to constantly explore and learn new workflows to enhance what is possible by mixing traditional and new technology. So here's some other examples as well. So augmented reality, like on digital fashion. This is rendered in Cinema 4D, and there's like AR, like image tracked products and experiences as well. So it's kind of like real time VFX. In terms of flow state, so I wanted to kind of just like diagram it out just to show you how it like how I do work in typically. So I will start off by mood boarding, and then I'll get into digitally sketching. So I like using my iPad and like drawing on the tablet. And then I go into gravity sketch, because the limitation with drawing digitally is, you know, I'm not seeing it in 3D with the like the silhouette and the way that I would shape the actual physical garment. So so that's when, and then I would go into Clo 3D, and then go into Substance Painter to texture, and then Cinema 4D as well. Just to check, can you see my screen? I'm on slide 3.
We're still seeing the hey, I'm an XR creator. Sorry.
I'm so okay.
No worries though.
Let me just reshare. I really do apologize for that. Let's
No,
see.
no worries.
Let's
Technology.
see if this works.
We run into all these things all the time, and these, so it's no
Okay,
worries.
no worries. So sorry. So I'll just quickly flick back. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see
Okay,
that.
perfect. I'm so sorry about that. So yeah, these are some recent examples of like AR, digital fashion, VFX, image tracking with augmented reality, and that's just simply using your mobile phone. So I use 3D in many different like formats and outputs. There isn't like one way I really use it for a flow state, let's say. That this was an example of a like a workflow that I've previously like just sketched out for you guys. You should be able to see. So I've created I start off with making a mood board, and then I digitally sketch it, go into Gravity Sketch, Clo 3D, Substance Painter, and Cinema 4D. So for example, here, what I do is, and what I like to do recently is actually go into AI and like meta AI and mood board, like ideas and concepts, like merging two different ideas together, such as sci-fi and nature. And then I would go into like digitally sketching it using Procreate. And then I go into Gravity Sketch, and this is an example, I would then go in and play around with the silhouette in 3D, because there's only so much that you can visualize in, you know, the 2D space. And I really love how Gravity Sketch allows me to just brainstorm, have like a fun 15-20 minute like, you know, play around with how I want it to be constructed next. This is honestly one of my favorite parts for it, because I can, you know, drag all the references, like the mood boards and the sketches, and yeah, so I can play around with that. So I kind of like, it's not like a polished finished look, but it just helps me to understand the construction. And then I would go into Clo 3D and then digitally texturing it, and then rendering it in Cinema 4D. So the flow state for me really like varies, but I think just the process of like 2D, 3D mediums combining together is what, you know, I really enjoy doing and typically play around with. I just stopped sharing my screen. Let's see. But I hope that helps to explain how I typically work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Josephine.
Of course.
Yeah, Jofia, Ben, any thoughts on this question on how does flow state, how important is flow state in your product creation process?
Yeah, I can say for me, it's super important. Like I love, I think that's the most creative that I can be and when I feel most intact with all that is when I start to work. And I used to be a, more 2D workflow, and now it is a 3D and a 3D first workflow for me. So example of, using VR to do 3D. I feel like I, skip right into the like I'm working already like into the meat of it, and I get lost in that, regardless if it's on, if I'm using like Blender, but I love to just jump in it and then explore it and be like, is this the direction that I want to go? Yeah, this feels right. So it is, on the one hand, super important. It's like when I'm most in touch with my like creativity, and on the other hand, getting like, just because like life rips me out of that flow state a lot, I'll be on a walk, I'll be doing this, and that's funny enough. So when I'm not in that flow state, I have all these like problem solve moments. Like I'll be thinking about it half and I'm like, oh, this would be a great approach for that. So at first, like when I heard that question, I thought, well, yeah, it's like I thought it's the most important thing, but funny enough, I benefit from also stepping back. Uh, I feel like both help me so much. But in terms of just like being creative, like tackling a problem, I love just getting in that flow state, and that's when I really do get lost. I feel like when I'm sitting there, if it's animating, whatever it is that like I'm currently working on, and I get in that state, I think that's when at the end of the day I go like, wow, that was such a fun day. I really feel fulfilled in like what I'm doing. So yeah.
Yeah. And I would have thought like when you are in the flow, the best way to get it like when you have really intuitive tools. And then I think like why I fell in love with Gravity Sketch, I really got lost in the moment and in the flow because it was so easy to learn. And for all of us, like we switch from so many software to software, from tool to tool, and usually it requires so many hours just to learn the tool, and you have the feeling that the tool is controlling you and not the other way around. And with Gravity Sketch, like you have the easy feeling, like you are just sketching on the paper, you are in the moment, you are in the scene, so you kind of feel like a demigod in your own universe. That's pretty cool feeling.
Powerful. Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you all. Um, I want to dive a little bit more into the why and why 3D, and maybe kind of rolling back the tape a bit. What was the main reason you started to adopt 3D into your workflow? And I think we probably touched a bit on this a little bit already with the things that some of you have shared, but yeah, why 3D into your workflow?
Mm. Honestly, for me, I was always just so curious about it. What growing up watching, Pixar, Disney movies, etc. I was always so curious. How does it work? What's the behind the scenes? And when I was in university, I just self-taught myself, and that kind of became my focus. So it wasn't so that I, incorporate it within my workflow. It became my workflow because for what I do with digital fashion, for example, thank you. What I do with digital fashion, for example, I love the idea of sustainability and being able to express yourself creatively without having to make physical clothes. So my ethos and my messaging kind of naturally just help me teach myself the skills required to use 3D in these ways.
Awesome. Ben?
I would say so. The real answer for why, I mean, of course, it was always interesting for me, but the thing I think that pushed me into, oh, I'm going to start doing it now, was because I came more from a 2D background, and this allowed me to do more of the designs, more of my ideas, from start to finish. I didn't need to outsource something. I was working in a social media agency at the time when I started building up the 3D skills, and this allowed me to just have an idea and just test it out and do it versus waiting for, another resource to open up. And it's funny enough though, so that's like the reason why, but Sophia mentioned it earlier that you got to learn that in your university, Gravity Sketch, and I had been kind of almost scared to get into 3D. I remember opening Blender the first couple times when I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out, and I was just like scared of that screen, like all the buttons and all the things. And I thought like, oh no, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. And I thought I'm not going to get there because it's too late for me. I should have learned it. I should have studied that in university or something. And funny enough, because I was using VR a lot at the time, and then like messing around with what was the first one? The one everyone used, the drawing one, not Quill. Tilt brush,
Tilt brush.
maybe,
Yeah.
I think.
Tilt brush.
So I
Mhm.
used
Yeah.
tilt brush. I was like, this is cool, but it doesn't. I feel like I can't build off of this. And then when I started using Gravity Sketch, I became so obsessed with it. Like I was just using it personally, but my skills grew and grew, and that leaked completely into like learning Blender. Like finally I was like, well, I bet I could just learn this one. I could just learn how to render in Blender. And then next thing you know, like it it was like my gateway drug to 3D. And now it is have all my little steps there. Like I usually 90 something percent of the time we'll start in Gravity Sketch, and then now it's I use Unreal Engine more than Blender, but I start with Gravity Sketch and I end and render that out somewhere else. So it started as me kind of saving some time, saving some steps, and was based off of a curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like add that with the 2D aspect, like you always have to hand off it if you want to see the 3D real object, and then the fact that you can have a full control as a 3D creator over the final finish, over the final look of your product or your idea. So that was pretty cool. And also like what Ben was just saying, like I was super scared of Blender, Unreal, Alias, all of these quite complex design tool. It was quite intimidating. And then Gravity Sketch, like I was growing with the Gravity Sketches. The product was developing, and then you learn like, oh, this is similar to Blender. Oh, this is like in Maya. You find this in Alias, and you kind of learn the whole lingo, the whole language about the 3D creation, and then it's like way easier to kind of learn all of the things. So yeah.
Yeah, it builds the confidence, I feel like, because you have through, I don't know, like a 20-minute session, you feel like you've actually created something. And next thing you know, you're like, I can do this. I bet I can build on this. So yeah.
Yeah. It's like adds up, and like
Yeah.
you're more confident as you go, and you find a lot of similarities, and you find your own ways and workflows how to combine things, and then you kind of start to feel like expert, and then you just continue. So yeah.
I think also you quickly, it's like a truth-telling process as well. You're like, okay, this is really not going to work. Like if there was an idea you had initially, it's like, oh man, okay, I got to rethink this and work through it a little bit more, because this is not what I thought it would be. It's like the 3D is the ultimate truth teller. I always say a lot, but yeah, this is these are great, guys. I would like to focus a bit more on Gravity Sketch, and I think you guys have touched on that a bit already, but I'd like to ask each of you, or for each of you to answer, what does 3D/Gravity Sketch allow you to do that maybe other tools don't? And you touched on this a bit already, some of you, but I'd like to pull a little bit more of that out. Why Gravity Sketch? What was that? Maybe what was that light bulb moment for you as well? Just so we can really understand that at a simple level.
For me, I absolutely loved how, the first time I used it, it took a bit of time to understand all the different tools, but it was instinctual, coming up with concepts and ideas and just sketching in this space became so easy and instinctual. And as soon as I was able to actually do a collaboration with another creator in the space, we live in completely two different countries, and the fact that we were able to come together and creating Gravity Sketch, I was like, I absolutely love the social factor of creating something together, and I haven't been able to experience that in other tools as well. And also jumping off what Ben was mentioning, in 20 minutes or so you're able to come and create something that you may have not being able to in another tool or software. It's just fun and free to just play around with.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. There's the social aspect, the collaboration. I think that's very unique in 3D space. You see it in 2D tools, on like on Teams and like these communication tools. But like how Gravity Sketch combines the collaborative, creative experience together, that's really unique. And then you can do it real time and just share the ideas with others. That's very fluent. And again, you have this flow. You almost feel you are in the same room and share the space and ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of collaboration. We've like built communities around it basically. And now, since last year, started a company, and there's three co-founders. We all live in different countries, and we use this as like our main collaborative tool. So to go into one, like we're working on a huge project right now, really exciting. We're creating a YouTube series for a toy company, and we are building the entire environments. We're building sets. We're doing everything, and we're in real time collaborating in Gravity Sketch. We're together building those sets. We're doing the storyboards by taking screenshots of the different scenes that we set up, and then we take what we've done, that we worked on together, that we decided together, this is the direction, this has continuity, all of that, and then put that into Unreal Engine. So for us, it's
Wow.
like, this is where we start, this is where we brainstorm, this is where we work together in real time. This is our office, because all of us actually met in, funny enough, Gravity Sketch, we met in VR, we met as 3D First, and built our company around 3D First. So
Wow.
in terms of what it allows us to do that other tools don't, it's like the main one. I mean, perfect example now is, moving down the project and working in Unreal. Yeah, we can share our files, but we can't work in real time at the same time in the same 3D program. And it's just night and day, right? Between being able in real time, flying around the scene, making yourself small, looking at the different angles. So yeah, it's a game changer for us.
Yeah. I love how what you said, like continuity, because it's becoming like end-to-end software. So you start to ideate, and then you also finish with the presentation or the final visuals as the tool improves. Like I think that's also for the vision for Gravity Sketch as a product, to give you this one virtual design studio. So where you are not relying on physical assets and commuting to work, but seriously just connecting US, Europe, Africa, whoever, whatever time, and yeah.
Sophia, could you provide a little bit more insight from your experiences working with some of the OEMs and customers um, on this way of working and how it's helped them, how it's benefited them in their process? I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, for instance, like how US car manufacturers are saving a lot of money is that the clay modeling and the clay milling, it's kind of costly, but you still want to see something on the plate. And then like now you can have this augmented reality or like mixed studios where you have digital assets in the physical studio, or you can have digital asset in the digital studio. Like you can really mix it, and you can allow people to be more flexible. And again, you can connect Europe and the US design studios, which is kind of unique. And what we hear a lot is that all of the Zoom or Teams or I don't know, Skype meetings, they're very detached. You are emotionally detached, you are physically detached. But when you have these immersive presentations and story and brainstormings in Gravity Sketch, it's very engaging. People react differently, and like they are more engaged to the collaborative work.
Wow. I mean, that's just to me that's huge. I mean, because like it sounds like this is kind of a first time thing. Would you say that's like a first time thing for Europe and U.S. sides of the companies to be collaborating to this level? Would that be like
Yeah,
a first time? It's like kind of a new paradigm shift. It sounds like.
yeah, like for the car manufacturer for sure. And then like what Ben was just saying, like I think it's far more easier for like smaller companies or startup to adopt this kind of working. It's more natural for you guys, I think, to connect with your peers or like your colleagues. but to enroll it for huge customers, it takes some planning, and it takes months or years to adopt the tool. But it's like you see the skip from 2D presentation to 3D storytelling. It's like another shift.
Yeah, I can definitely say from the Gravity Sketch side as well. Like, we hope to see more of these little like micro communities popping up, kind of like you, Josephine, and Ben, what you've been involved with the Metaverse Artisans. Sort of these micro communities gathering together in the tool to create together, and figuring out how we can like further encourage that. And so for everybody listening and watching out there, definitely just put yourself out there if you want to collaborate, you know, and but how can we, um, I would love to know like how we could help facilitate that even more. Um, a question I guess I want to put out to you, uh, all of you on the panel is what what is maybe your dream scenario of community collaboration with Gravity Sketch? What does that look like for you?
Personally, I would absolutely love if there was a way we could, integrate with our computers, our like GPU processors, and be able to in real time, let's say, we're in a collaborative group or we have a client project. It would be incredible if there's a way to like sync Gravity Sketch with maybe like 3D renders also, and place them in real time or in mixed reality using Gravity Sketch. I think that would be very exciting because I absolutely love working in mixed reality because I have the Quest 3, and just in the pass-through mode, if I was able to integrate like actual like Alembic files or so, animations, that would really be transformative, I would say, to just help brainstorm, ideate, come back and forth with iterations of ideas too.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, please, that would be amazing. Like if we have more computing power and see all of these like visual effects, animation, renderings, lighting and stuff that would enhance the selling aspect of Gravity Sketch. It will be great for vendors, for potential investors, anybody. Like if you can share a good looking fashion cars product, people would want to buy more into it. Agree. And to the social aspect, like I was always like wondering, like when you have Sketchfab, like it's kind of popular, but it's not like a social network. But like if can Gravity Sketch become a new Instagram or something, like where you can rotate the object and look on the videos or animation from angle where you want. Like I think Metaverse had the ambition to become this new social network, but like if we could have this, I mean, like I think it will be a logical shift from 2D to 3D, because I think more and more people are becoming more 3D, like literal, and like it's more demographic for them to learn 3D and these processes. So yeah, that would be a cool thing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
I know
mean,
you've got thoughts.
yeah, in terms of the community, I feel like I went out and I kind of made that happen, and even from that community, like started a business. So in terms of that, I feel like I've went and I did it. But in terms of some of the things you guys said, I think rendering would be, I don't know, that would of course be so fun to. I mean, even when we did Jaren, we did a live right together, and then there was like in real time, like Korea was doing AI renders of what we were working on, and I think that showed like how fun it is to be like we're working on something, and this is like here's the final kind of presentation of it, and I think that sounds so cool. Like when you both said renders, I was like, yeah, of course, you're working on something together as a group, and without having to say at the end of that, hey, okay, guys, let's all get out of our headsets. Let's one person go and start rendering it, and then I'll send it to you in 20 minutes or whatever. To just skip that and be like, this is what we did, and we're like, here it is. I think that would be such a it would close that loop of like creation. We finished it, we're excited
With
about it.
ideation,
Exactly, all in one like experience. So
And I like how you mentioned the AI. Also, like integration of AI tools would be great inside Gravity.
Every
Either like Viscom, or like you don't need to go save the screenshots, go to Viscom, Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, you name it, but like you do it within the web browser. Also, the 3D AI generated models. Like, yeah, I think that everybody would love to see.
Yeah, the connection points in my eyes could be made. It seems to be it's just like taking those threads and connecting them, because all the tools are there, all the platforms are there. It's just really just taking those connecting threads and putting them together to make that process more streamlined. And maybe I'm being a little presumptuous, but I feel like that's where things are headed. And we'll get there eventually, or some version of that. I can't speak for Gravity Sketch, but my hope personally is some experience like what you are all describing, where it's like it's that flow from ideation, collaboration, visualization is seamless all the way through, and it's immediate. That feedback is happening in real time. Um, and then just touching on what you're talking about there, Sophia, on like the platform, I'm with you on that. I think we've talked a lot about that internally as well. Just what is the dream scenario of people being able to share files, share assets with each other in Gravity Sketch. I mean, it could be quite powerful. The Gravity Sketch community is very prolific in the things that they're making, and but I have this sense that there's a lot of people in silos, to themselves. Maybe they don't know other people that have Gravity Sketch personally, and so they don't know who to reach out to. They might know they might know the metaverse artisans, right? But that's maybe that group is maxed out. They've already got meetings set up and stuff. So how can we help facilitate more of these these types of groups forming? Is the questions I think that we're asking now. So this has been really fun, everybody. I think we could talk a lot more and dive a lot more deep into this topic, but I hope that this was educational for all of you listening out there as well, as to maybe how 3D can help you in your workflow. If you aren't using any 3D tools at all, it might be a great place to start. Gravity Sketch, just trying it out. We have a comment from Pamela on here. Actually, it says, "I would personally like to see in Gravity Sketch different kind of backgrounds or place where you work." Oh, well, that's HDRIs. So we have HDRIs, Pamela, and you can actually make custom HDRIs as well. You can bring those into Landing Pad, and then open those up inside the app as well. So that is possible currently. But I just want to thank you all again for your time. You all are doing incredible work in your spaces and in your industries. I was just showing some of your Instagram pages there. And for anybody that's not familiar, go and check them out. I'll just share real quickly again so everybody can go have a look. But yeah, we have Josephine Miller on Instagram. Yeah, lots of amazing mixed reality AR. If you want to just do a little plug for yourself, Josephine. We'll just go through the line.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm constantly putting out content, experimenting with 3D, integrating AI, VFX, like so many technical methods. I don't really stick to one. I love to just experiment. So this one actually is using AI, like segmentation with Comfy UI. I absolutely love like just experimenting and programming AI as well. But yeah, that was a AI segmentation video as well, which was a lot of fun. And actually, if you scroll to the blue dress one, yeah, this one. So I actually did for this one do a concept in Gravity Sketch as well, but this was actually like a VFX method. I did photogrammetry to like actually match my body measurements, and then animated the garment on top of that, which was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun playing around with it. Also, if you click out and if you go to the top right video, that's another great, the one above this is also another AI, but yeah, So this one is augmented reality on a t-shirt. So this is playing around with layers. So I did
Wow.
about 45 illustration layers and using image tracking and augmented reality on Metaspark, I was able to recycle an old t-shirt and make into a AR interactive effect that you can actually print off. In my Instagram, you can actually click on the link to print this off yourself. So it's like a DIY, like fun little experiment. But yeah, I do a lot of experiments. I don't stick to one medium, but I've always loved 3D and exploring. So yeah, if you want to check it out, please do.
Awesome. Thank you, Josephine.
Cool.
Awesome work.
Thank you.
Ben, little maybe plug for yourself as well. We'll just go
Sure,
through
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, follow Benfluencer. That's my Instagram, and yeah, I do a lot of experiments as well. Teach a little bit what I learn. New tech is the main thing. So I just check out what's new, what's interesting, how that goes into the workflow that I have, and then maybe if it's not too far to scroll down, there's that car that I made that looks like the fish. No, not that one. It's like. There it
The
is.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, you remember
Yeah,
this
this
one
one.
from uni.
I love it.
This is when I met Sophia in real. I had that car with me, funny enough. But yeah, so this one I just thought it'd be really fun. Like this was just a for fun project. With some people that I know. We all bought the same RC car. That's us, building it in Gravity Sketch in a big collab room. Then I 3D printed it. I learned how to, I don't know, I'd never done something like that before. I learned how to like solder the lights together, put lights on it so for the eyes and stuff. And just
Nice.
because I thought it'd be fun, especially with in this case with Gravity Sketch, I was like, oh man, so many people use Gravity Sketch to design cars. But it's always it's years between design and right and seeing it on the road. So I thought, oh, I bet I could speed that up. So just for fun, I made that. So that's the kind of stuff that I do. I experiment. That and then in turn teaches me um new skills that then I use later. So that's what it is. I just love design. I love creating, and if I'm not maxed out with work, I have to make something. So then it turns into a project like this. Yeah. So if it's interesting, just creative stuff to look at, VFX, AI, new tech, 3D, yeah, give me a follow.
It's
Ooh,
awesome.
cool.
Thanks, Ben. Sophia, give yourself a little shout too.
Yeah, maybe if you just go scroll down a bit to the how to make the wheel spin, for instance. So I'm also like, it's super cool, like when you can combine the new tools and like always learn how to bring the stuff inside out Gravity Sketch to other software. You always like feel you learn something about like rendering, animation. So this is like my specialty. I think like we are all very curious here and we really love to learn new stuff, and that's our bread and butter. And yeah, that's amazing. Like what like imagine like 100 years ago, like people didn't have access to anything, and now we can really reach anybody and anything with the tip of our fingers and combine all of these two and like really let our creativity grow and flourish. So yeah, that's so. And I focus mostly on the cars. Yeah, it's like everything I made, it's made in Gravity Sketch and then a little bit Blender touch up, and a little bit of AI.
Incredible. Yeah, amazing, amazing work. Um, okay, well, I just want to say thank you again to all of you here. I guess that's it. For all of you watching, I just want to give a quick reminder. We've got our round coming up in September, gets towards the end of September, 18th and 19th. We have, I think Josephine and Ben, you guys are going to be there. So definitely tune in. Sophia, are you around this year as well?
Yeah, we'll do some workshops or like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
trainings. So,
So
yeah.
you'll have some FaceTime and be able to interact. So definitely don't miss it. There's going to be some jam-packed, powerful talks, workshops, all kinds of things. So check out around.gravitysketch.com to go and register for the event. Again, it's September 18th and 19th, a 2-day event. It's online, so you don't have to travel anywhere. But it's going to be amazing. So I just want to shout that out as well to remind people to go and register for a round. And one more thing, we do have a challenge this month. It is August, and we have designing a house for Mars. So if you want to go and try and your skills in Gravity Sketch, design a home on that would sit on Mars, and submit through our Typeform link on Instagram, and we'd love to see what you come up with. So again, thank you all for joining so much. Until next time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See you
Awesome.
at the round.
See you all there.
Yes, see you
Bye
in
now.
September.
Okay.